Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon by, you guessed it, doing another Disney related video. In terms of the movies, shows, music, whatever. Something Disney themed kind of a thing, whatever, you get the drill here. So again, as you can tell by the title, it's gonna be a princess related. Yeah, I know. I'm making quite a lot of these videos. I've already done that in the past before, and I continue my little trend in this video. So, I'm not going to be speaking about any specific princess per se, but it's more like a general thing when it comes to all these princesses and whatnot. I mean, okay, what's the point? It's like a top 10 list or something? Not exactly. Common thing it seems to be noticing that's a trend, I guess. Having various artists doing their own take and basically remaking these characters. Yeah, again, that's a word, remake. I'm sick of remakes, but it's not really a film, really remake in the sense of that. Just remaking them in certain images to take place in a more modern day kind of a thing, which I found in itself to be rather insulting. Because again, I know I mentioned this before, but they seem to like to go for these princess characters since a lot of people like to, you know, criticize the princess characters for being bad role models and all that mumbo jumbo, which I disagree with because it doesn't make any sense. You really can't criticize something that came out more than 50, 60, or 70 years ago or so and use the today's morality. Of course, society is going to change and whatnot. And you do have to think about the context within the story itself as well. This type of things you do have to look into. These princess characters, movies, are products of the time, which, yes, does not have to be a bad thing per se. But of course, people took offense to these movies anyway, as to say that they're bad role models in the sense that they're sexist or whatever. And I mean, come on, you really? And they want to express these characters to prove that the princess characters can be strong and independent. That's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak, because at the time, why can't a princess character be expressed their womanhood, their them being strong in a number of ways? Why does it have to be specific in one way? That's one thing I have to, I guess, give them a counter criticism. I guess when they criticize these prince characters, why do they have to be one specific way? Like Cinderella, for example. Cinderella never picked up a gun. Cinderella never punched anybody. Cinderella never picked up a sword or anything like that. And she remained kind. I mean, okay, she was mistreated badly, yes, by the stepsisters and stepmothers, sure. But point being, she didn't stab nobody. She didn't give in to anger. She remained calm as best she could, of course, under these circumstances, and remained sweet and kind. And use diplomacy. You know, that in itself is already strong. I don't know, brave. Of course, I'm referring to the original one, obviously, not the really dumb remake, of course. But yeah, when you think about it, you don't want to get it. You don't want to make it boring. Not every princess character has to be a warrior. Not every princess character needs to be a soldier. Not every character needs to be some sort of fighter. That would get boring. It would be boring. Point, what I'm saying is that look at Princess Leia. She attempted to use, diplomacy at first, but she was forced to take, action into her own hands in a way. And she's trying to, do that. But yeah, just the fact that a lot of these people, a lot of these artists, trying to use the more modern day kind of a thing as a way to, make it more of an upgrade, which I think is stupid, if you ask me. But okay, it seems whatever. And when you think about it, a lot of these princess characters take place in various timelines anyway. They don't not going to exactly fit in today's world really. But it just seems ridiculous, folks. It just seems like they want to pick at these characters just to mold them into their perspective and their political alignment and whatnot. We're just no. Because considering the fact that each princess character has their own way of thinking, you treat them like actual characters. Not every single one of them is going to think the exact same kind of way. I'm going to show a few images here, folks. I'm going to show every little thing. And yeah, this just seems like a way that, oh, I want to show strong women that they're going to be independent and whatnot. I'm just over here thinking, doesn't this contradict the whole idea of them being princesses in the first place? You know, because of loyalty and whatnot. Royalty, I mean, yeah, royalty and whatever. And, I mean, you don't necessarily, when you're a princess or a queen, you don't necessarily need to have any of those type of jobs, ever. Because you're really high up there in society to begin with. And, and it doesn't make any sense anyway to turn these types of characters into warriors and fighters anyway, and well, at least not in the sense that they're talking about. Because if you're gonna, when you think about certain enemy groups, big or small, or if fair enough, if you're gonna do that, they're gonna have those specific people are gonna have a high price in their head. So whenever there's an enemy group or like a warlord or something wants to kill somebody, they're gonna be the first people they're gonna be after. So realistically speaking, so of course, so don't you think it might be too dangerous for them? In that case, you know, realistically speaking, and of course that's what they're trying to do here. Go for a more of a realistic approach. And of course, like when it comes to a certain criminal, like a high-ranking criminal, or whatever, the princess characters, they're gonna be after them first because the princess characters are gonna be highly sought after, and they're gonna be going to have to maybe get murdered first in that regard. If you really want to make it realistic, if you want to put these characters in a high stress kind of situation and whatnot, oh boy, and like, if you really want to do it, it just doesn't make any sense. Is what I'm saying, folks. It just seems odd. If you're really gonna put that much of an effort to put them in a kind of situation like that, I guess you're gonna say. So what they actually, I don't know. It makes no sense. I'm going to talk about Alice in Wonderland. Yes, I'm going to talk about that character because Alice herself was originally considered as a princess, but not anymore. But anyway, point being that, yes, home film was eventually remade, which I thought was a big part of shit, if I be honest here. But in that film, that's one of the reasons as to why I took issue in the way that to treat the character. I mean, really, I thought it was really stupid. Because they basically turned her into like a warrior type character with a sword and everything. I mean, really, that's dumb. That's really dumb. And like maybe she's from a distant relative or something, and she's the one that was always in some sort of fighting to begin with, and instead of just changing the character's role entirely, I don't know. But yeah, it's just the type of thing that people want to be seen nowadays. Just have a strong female lead and whatnot. Which I'm not saying not to have a female lead in a strong way. I'm not saying that. And I don't want anyone to be twisting my words around. I'm not saying to not have any characters to have any strong sense of morality and whatnot. But point being is that you don't necessarily have to be one specific way to remain a good person. You can do that in more ways than one. Like the whole Cinderella bit I just mentioned earlier. So yeah, I mean, yes, of course, the types of princess characters, the way they were written in these animated features and whatnot, did change over the years, of course, which doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing either, obviously, but I'm just saying, of course. But yeah, folks, that's just something I thought was kind of weird that they would do this kind of a thing really here, folks. But yeah, I didn't get it. I did not get it at all because you're trying to use this as a way to make them seem strong or whatever. You don't necessarily need to put them in some sort of position, like some type of jobs that a lot of people go through anyway. I don't know. It doesn't seem right, of course. And and that's the thing, folks. I know a lot of people say, well, you know, what about discrimination and whatnot? which yes, unfortunately, people do receive, mistreatment, go through some sort of prejudge and whatnot because they're from a different country or whatever, or maybe because of their sexual orientation or whatever else. Yes, that's unfortunately is a reality, and you could use these animated features as a way to express that you still can go through it anyway. Which, yeah, I can get that, sure, but I don't know. Just you can do that not in just other ways, folks, at all. But I mean, yes, I do. Again, I do realize that the movie audiences, have changed over the years. The movie going audience is different, even compared from like what the 1930s, then compare that to the 1960s, and then compare the 1960s to the 1980s, then the 1980s to the 1990s, and then up to nowadays. I get it. People's chasing movies change. What worked back then may not work now. I mean, you can always play tribute to the past, but while embracing the future, I guess in some ways, I don't know. Respect the roots that started all this, but at the same time, go on your own thing. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can actually do with this kind of stuff. I guess whatever. But um, but this kind of thing I do find kind of weird anyway to begin with, because considering the fact season 1 and 2 basically redefined what it takes to be a queen and a princess, yet people still complain about those movies. What the actual hell? So yeah, folks, yeah, just this entire thing's confusing if you ask me. It's just really odd, in my point of view, because none of this, absolutely none of it makes any difference, any sense. It's like that doesn't make any sense. Damn if you do, damn if you don't, kind of thing going on here. So yeah, folks, I'm about to wrap things up because I think this video has went long enough as it is. I just don't get it. I just think it's weird that some people have this mentality that they have to revamp on what already has been done in order to fix a problem that doesn't even exist to begin with. I just don't know, people. You just can't please nobody, I guess you can say, at all. But yeah, I just think it's really dumb. It just doesn't make any sense at all because I do believe that these characters will find the way they are, yes, including Cinderella and all the other original princesses that they made already. But yeah, just no. Just a big fat no. I don't like what was being done with these characters in that sense because I believe they'll find their way through war. And yes, I'm one of those people that believe, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If something's meant to be a certain way, leave it alone. Oh boy, just I don't know anymore. I know I'm just ranting here again, I know, but whatever. Anyway, of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah.